Kit lay awake, watching the numerals on his bedside clock change. 1 minute before his alarm was set to go off, he reached out and tapped the button. Tess was lying on the floor by the door, gazing at him balefully. He'd tossed and turned so much during the night that he'd pushed her off the bed and her feelings were hurt. "Here, girl." He patted the bed. She stood, giving her customary wiggly stretch, then padded over to the bed and leapt up, but without much enthusiasm. It appeared he was not quite forgiven. He rolled over, lifting her wiry little body onto his chest, and she obliged by licking him on the chin. "There, that's better," he said, and scratched her behind the ears. Even though he hadn't slept well, he was reluctant to get up. He'd gone to bed angry, and not even listening to London Calling over and over on his earphones had made him feel better. He hated it when grown-ups treated him like a child, and his dad and Gemma had brushed him off when he'd asked them how serious Gemma's mum's diagnosis was. Of course, Vi wasn't his real grandmother, but he found that didn't matter. She had always been kind to him, had fed him and brusquely jollied him and welcomed him into her family when he'd felt the most lost and alone. And then there was Gemma. It wasn't so bad for Toby. He was too young to mind much. But Gemma. He wished he knew what to say to her. He felt stupid and tongue-tied and frozen. What did you say to someone whose mum might die? It had been the same with Erika yesterday. He hadn't known what to say when she had told him about leaving Germany, about her father dying in the camps. When he got home, he had looked up the camp where Jewish men from Berlin had been sent, Sachsenhausen, and wished he hadn't. But still, curiosity nagged at him like an itch, and he wished he'd heard the rest of Erika's story. What had she meant when she'd said the Nazis hadn't stolen her brooch? She'd changed the subject after that, refusing to say more, and Gemma hadn't pushed her. "Kit, rise and shine!" His dad's voice came from the second floor. Kit imagined him standing at the top of the stairs, buttoning his shirt, fresh from the shower and smelling of soap, his hair still damp and combed with a neatness that would last only until it was dry. Gemma would be down soon, helping Toby dress, or at least arguing with him over his choices, and then there would be breakfast, and a kitchen full of chatter and barking dogs. Suddenly the day seemed a good deal brighter. Dumping Tess unceremoniously onto the floor, Kit threw back the covers. "I'm up," he shouted back. When Gemma came into the kitchen, Kincaid already had coffee on and was putting out cereal boxes for the boys. But when he held out a mug, she shook her head. "No time. Toby was determined to wear his Spider-Man t-shirt with holes in it rather than his uniform this morning, and I want to get in early, see what's up, then dash to Kincaid was shaking his head. "What?" asked Gemma, stopping a quick grab for juice. "You can't keep on delegating to Melody and ducking out of the job. You're going to have to tell your super and Melody about your mum. Request some time, but I don't like to." She ran a hand through her shorter hair, and the bareness of her neck made her feel vulnerable. She still missed the weight of her long plait on her back. "I don't like airing my personal business at work. In 5 minutes it will be all over the station and everyone will be giving me sympathetic looks." "Would you rather they thought you were slipping out for trysts with the milkman?" Gemma couldn't help smiling. "Trysts? Who on earth says trysts? And no, I don't suppose I want anyone thinking I'm having them, whatever they are, with the milkman." She sighed. "I'll have a word with Mark first thing, and then Melody." He came round the table and pulled her into a hug, and she let herself relax against him, taking momentary comfort from the warm solidity of his body. "A wise choice," he whispered in her ear, "and besides, I'm better than the milkman." "And how do you know that?" she whispered.